Now at 6, in about 4 hours, Raul Valley is set to take the witness stand again in his murder trial. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot has been following the case. She'll bring us what Valley said in his testimony yesterday. That's coming up in about 2 minutes from now. But first, good morning and happy Tuesday. It is July 1st. Thanks for joining us on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Bridget Bjorlo. If you have plans this evening, there is a chance you could get caught in a storm. So let's check in with meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli. Rachel, what's going on with that?
Yeah, there's a potential for a couple of those scattered showers and storms to become on the strong to severe side. So we just want to let you know that that's possible between about 3 and 9 o'clock this evening, maybe an hour or two before it. Some scattered storms around throughout the day. And we want to just stay weather aware, have a way to get those alerts on your phone. In the meantime, right now, we have a couple of showers pushing through the state. A lot of these are very manageable and behaving, essentially. So we have a little bit of rain over in southwestern Connecticut, currently over in Fairfield County, pushing into Danbury as well as along 84. We also have this brief downpour towards the casinos, just pushing out of 395 along Mystic, Groton, and also New London now. So all of this is manageable. You can see actually the bulk of the rain and the heaviest stuff, a lot of vivid lightning this morning as well down to the south of us now. In the meantime, right now we have mostly cloudy skies. It's a little gloomy to start, 75 degrees there over in the New Haven area, 70 now over in Torrington, 72 in Waterbury, and our dew points are elevated this morning. It is a very, very muggy start to our morning, feeling kind of uncomfortable. There's a rain chance in the morning, towards the evening as well. In between, there will be dry hours with some partial sun popping in. It's going to remain very muggy today with high temperatures close to 90 degrees, but when you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like the mid 90s for several hours today, so certainly want to be mindful of that. We'll detail out where we go from here, your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. As we check in with the roads this morning here at 6:02, we are following this, well, it looks like it just cleared. There's a crash over in Hartford this morning on 91 southbound over near exit 34. It does look like that has cleared, so a little bit of congestion this morning because of that earlier crash, but within the last couple of minutes it has cleared for the morning commute, so certainly some good news there. Your drive times to the state lines this morning, Hartford to Massachusetts around 40 minutes, New Haven to Rhode Island is 66, no delays reported through New York. Over to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. For the first time in his murder trial, Raul Valley is speaking out. Valley is testifying about what he experienced several years ago at that house party where police say he stabbed 17-year-old James McGrath to death. Valley at the time was 16 years old. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot has more of Valley's testimony in the court.
Witnesses who took the stand Monday say they saw Raul Valley stab James McGrath in the chest. After they spoke, Raul Valley was called to testify and share his account of what happened 3 years ago. 3 people testified Monday in the Raul Valley case. The last of those 3 was Valley himself. After hearing testimony from witnesses who say they were at that party 3 years ago, Valley took the stand and recounted what he says happened and what he experienced.
What did you do?
As soon as Tyler got out, I got out.
Why?
It's my friend. I knew a couple people there. I was just going to help ease the situation, I guess.
He testified to going to an earlier party that night with his friend Tyler De Silva and Jack Snyder when he says they got into a fight with 2 Shelton High School students.
I trusted my best friend that everything was going to be okay and we were just going to go and make peace.
Before going back to the party, Valley says Snyder gave him a pocket knife.
Where was the knife?
In my pocket.
Did you have your hand on it?
No.
Valley says he and De Silva got out of the car together to speak to the students. That's when he says more than 20 Shelton students surrounded him.
First, we were all talking to the same amount of people. And then after a little while, when I looked to my left, there was a wall of people blocking me from Tyler.
Valley is expected to continue his testimony when court resumes Tuesday morning. In Milford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
In East Haven, 2 people are expected to appear in court today. Both of them face charges after they were accused of a domestic incident that led to a large police presence yesterday afternoon. This happened just before 4:30 p.m. at a home on Dora Drive where someone called 911 saying there was a fight that involved a knife between 2 family members. That caller also said one of the people made a threat involving a gun. Police say when they got there, one of the people went into the basement for several hours. Officers were eventually able to convince them to come out. No one was hurt in that incident. Officers in Ansonia have arrested a third person in connection to a street takeover. Police say Zachary Belfioli turned himself in to police. The takeover happened in April and it was all caught on camera. Cars blocked Wakely Avenue. Fireworks went off and someone jumped on a police car and damaged it. Officers say more arrests are likely on the way. 6:05 is your time. West Hartford just finished one of its many street projects as part of its Vision Zero initiative to make roads safer. That includes curb extenders, which were added on South Quaker Lane and Kingswood Road. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson spoke with several people who walk that street every day to hear their thoughts on the enhancements.
Right here at the intersection of South Quaker Lane and Kingswood Road, pedestrians and drivers will now see these white chalk guidelines. These are called curb extenders, put here to enhance the safety of walkers and drivers.
With these new curb extenders up, cars are starting to slow down. It's a vital improvement to an area that sees runners like Grace Murray every day.
So I run down the street quite often. I think it's a big problem in West Hartford, honestly, pedestrian safety. Just like running, walking, especially on this corner here, I notice cars, like if they're going right on red, like they just kind of pull out and they don't see you.
These new curb extenders look to lower the risk of pedestrian accidents right where the streets meet the sidewalk. Last year, 3 pedestrians were killed from motor vehicle accidents. That's a number Sebastian Mikan says shocked him.
It is way more than it should be. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction because, like I said earlier, there's way too many, injuries and deaths. And I think that just the fact that they're trying to do something about it and be proactive about it is, important. And I feel better as like a citizen.
Sebastian says he became aware of the problem when he did a study on pedestrian car deaths in his AP Gov class. It was an eye-opener for Sebastian, who lives in and walks this area all the time.
And I just kind of stumbled upon like traffic safety. That was my first idea. There was like an entire PDF on just Vision Zero, and I just did my entire project on it, and there's a lot of information, and I actually learned a lot about what they were trying to do and what they were going for.
The curb extension in Sebastian's neighborhood is one of several quick builds that the town is aiming to complete in 2025. Others include a hard-ended center line, median island, mini roundabout, neighborhood traffic circle, and a pedestrian refuge island. Sebastian believes these builds will help enforce speed limits too.
I feel like there's way too many like reckless drivers, which is like the root of the issue, especially at the bigger streets and intersections.
Even with the Vision Zero's overhaul of town streets, Grace says you can never be too safe as a pedestrian.
If there's ever like a blocker, I'll probably stop running and just kind of like peek my head out and make sure that there are no cars coming. I think running with a buddy is definitely a good idea. Recently, actually, I just bought some new headphones that are called Shocks. You can hear things better with them, so I would definitely recommend those versus like the noise canceling headphones if you're running alone.
Now, these curb extenders are a part of Phase 1 of the Vision Zero initiative. Officials say that Phase 1 should be finished by July 18th or even sooner. In West Hartford, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
At the state capitol, Governor Ned Lamont signed Connecticut's next 2-year state budget. The plan covers fiscal years 2026 and 27. It gives money to early childhood education, special education, and K-12 schools. The governor says it will not raise taxes. Some of the highlights include $300 million to expand preschool access, fight homelessness, invest in higher education, and support health and human service providers. Governor Lamont calls it a balanced and sensible budget that stays well under the state spending cap. Dozens of new laws will take effect today, July 1st. So let's take a look at a few of them. In the fall, Connecticut public schools must add Asian American and Pacific Islander history, as well as civics and media literacy to its social studies curriculum. The AAPI portion is part of a bill lawmakers passed in 2022. It will teach students the history of AAPI people in our state and across the country. Another bill passed 2 years ago requires students to learn civics and media literacy. Civics teaches the rights and obligations of citizens, and media literacy will teach how all forms of media impact us. There's a new tax on aviation fuel. Companies that bring fuel into the state will face a 15-cent tax per gallon. The tax will be paid every 3 months and applies to the first sale made in the state by companies that distribute aviation fuel. According to the new law, fuel can only be taxed once. If you plan to sell your home, you must answer more questions for prospective buyers about flood risks in Connecticut. Sellers will be required to say if the property is part of FEMA's designated flood plan. They would also have to say if they received any federal aid or knew that previous owners received aid to recover from flood damage. Homeowners would also have to disclose if any structures on the property had damage from flooding or leaks. If you want to read more on these laws and the dozens of others that were recently passed and took effect, scan the QR code on your screen. We have the details also on our website, FOX61.com. 6:10 is your time. Governor Lamont reappointed Marissa Gillette to lead the state's Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, also known as PURA, for another 2 years. There has been lots of questioning over Gillette deleting text messages relating to a lawsuit on gas rates. Republican lawmakers quickly condemned the governor's move on this. They say her reappointment shows a lack of transparency. In a statement to Fox 61, House Republican leader Vincent Candelora tells us, quote, she misled legislators and the public and even deleted records subject to Freedom of Information laws. That alone should prompt bipartisan outrage in a hearing before the very legislators who confirmed her nomination, end quote. Gillette has led PURA since 2019. Her new term is now underway.